Hey everybody. So this is really cool. So OpenAI's DALL, it's an incredible extension to GPT-3, and it focuses on generating images. And I'll just go to the next slide and show you. So it takes in a text prompt and then an image prompt. Sometimes I don't think you always need the image prompt, and then it generates images. It doesn't search the internet for images, but it generates its own images. And so this is a combination of technologies, from what I understand, of different things that they built over at OpenAI, and and they're going to release a paper that talks a little bit more about the architecture, and I'm sure we'll mention the data and what they use. But currently they have a blog post that they made on their site. And I'll share a couple of other resources at the end of this video. But anyways, I thought this would be interesting to share on this channel because of the impact it could have in design, in the design phase, or maybe even the construction phase of a project. And so you can see here that it takes in a text prompt of a living room with two white armchairs and painting of a coliseum, and painting is mounted above a modern fireplace. And then you can see the images below. Also, real quick, the source is openai.com/blog/DALL. Check that out if you want to see some of the other, because there's a lot of images and a lot of examples. I will jump into the blog, but definitely check it out yourself. There's a lot of cool stuff. But I think this tool in itself could impact AEC in a incredible way. Maybe you want to spark new ideas, so you know that this is something that you want, so you put in maybe a short sentence about a specific space, and then it generates all these different types. Maybe they don't make sense, maybe it puts things in the wrong places, but it may spark some ideas or something like that. So you can see here's another example where it has a text prompt, an image prompt. Again, I'm not entirely sure how important the image prompt is, because there are examples where they don't have that, but they will release a paper at some point. I'm not sure the date behind that, but I'm hoping it'll explain like what data it's actually collecting, and then what the architecture is. Because you can see here, this only takes in a text prompt, and this is a unique example. It's just an armchair shaped like an avocado. Pretty unique, and it generates all these different images, and really cool ones, like ones that make sense. And it tries to understand your text in that way, and and you'll see that in some of the other examples. Like, it'll take a turtle and a giraffe. Like, there's ways that we could picture that coming together. And I think it does a good job on doing it like how any human would do it. Some of the images don't make sense, though, and you'll see some of those examples as well. Like some of these, like this chair here looks miserable to sit in. So there are things like that. I just wanted to highlight this because they mentioned this in their blog post, and I think it's important to think about, especially with something this powerful. So they do. It sounds like they're having conversations around the impact that this could have in the world. So I think that's pretty good, especially with something so powerful. Based off of like the words you put in there, you can control like the viewpoint, or the position of like the camera potentially, and so like in this example, they have a close-up view, and then or like this sitting in a field. You can have things like that will position it in a certain way. So you could say, okay, give me maybe a bird's eye view of a site or something. You can put in information like that to give you a better view of what it is that you're trying to generate, or an image that you're trying to generate. I thought this was a cool one to highlight because this one creates like sections or like an X-ray view, and it would be cool to know what it would generate if it made it its own X-ray view. Like, what would it make? What would it see if it cut a section through a building? Like, if you asked it, can you like cut section through building and show me, like a cross section view of a building? I'd love to know what it would create. I thought this was a good thing to highlight. So it was talking about like inferring contextual details. So you may say sitting in a field at sunrise, but you don't mention with a shadow or reflection or things like that. And you can see it creates shadows, and you can see it down here or like here. So it does factor in stuff like that. It's really, really powerful and really interesting. And it does, and I want to show you this, but it does get confused though the more details you give it. I guess it depends on the type of details, but it can get confusing. So a couple things my son wanted to ask was like a pizza dinosaur, which I would love to know what it would actually come up with that question, or like a Fortnite character. I'm not sure where it's collecting its data, but my thought on that was, with all the hype around gaming and all the YouTube channels and all the stuff out there, there's maybe it can generate an actual character. That would be super interesting. Icons, I think it can do icons really well if you look at some of the examples from their post. And then it would be cool to have YouTube thumbnails automatically created in a really creative way. I think that would be cool. So resources, OpenAI fighter jet for the mind. This is just a quote from the YouTube video because they mention how powerful like programming is, but this doesn't really require any programming. You can just type in some stuff and it generates something for you. So it's like a fighter jet for the mind, incredibly powerful. This is the blog this is the OpenAI blog post about DALL. And this is DALL explained in under 5 minutes. This is a nice short article. So, hopefully, if you don't like reading, then this video should give you, this video should give you what you need. But if you do like reading, but not a lot, this 5-minute article should give you kind of a good overview of OpenAI or of DALL. I mean, if you want more information about it. If you want to join, and this is totally free, it's just a free server. The idea is to just talk about different AEC data science stuff. So there's a couple channels set up, and I can set up more channels. You just have to ask, and I can set those up. And it's just there to have conversations about these topics that are specific to AEC. So feel free to join, the links there. Also, this video along with this PowerPoint, you'll find that below in the description, and a OneDrive. There's a description, or in the description, there's a OneDrive link where you'll find a bunch of folders to all my different videos, and then just find this folder and you can download this along with the video itself if you don't want to watch it on YouTube. All right, so real quick, I want to mention the this post. It's a lot of information, but there was a couple things I wanted to highlight. You can see what it does with just different inputs, and I think like this one to me was really cool. A cube made of a porcupine, and the only one I really like here is this one here. But you can see it's pretty cool. I mean, if you wanted that, like a cube made of a porcupine, I mean, there's so many different examples here. So many different things that you could pick from and maybe use if you're trying to design something for fun, or maybe make an icon. Just really cool stuff. This one I thought was all of this is interesting, and it talks about the different problems and obstacles they had to deal, or different things that they saw the model doing, or just different things they found while building this, or I guess testing it. But I thought this was interesting because they say, okay, baby penguin wearing blue hat, red gloves, green shirt, and yellow pants, and you can see it gets messed up. And so here it's putting on a blue shirt instead of a green shirt. And you can see just a variety of different things kind of getting messed up. But I mean, from what I can tell, or from what it says here, the more detail you give it, or at least maybe that kind of detail, like blue this, or this needs to be specifically this, the harder it has, a harder time it has at kind of distinguishing things from like what color, like this needs to be this color or that needs to be that color. It has a higher difficulty at that, but I'm not sure if that goes for like, okay, I want a blue square in a field from this perspective during day. You know, it may depend on the type of data that you're asking for. Specific details like that, it could get messed up. Maybe at a higher level, like if you're asking more general, just, you know, the environment needs to be this at this time, it may not get messed up. But they're interesting questions. But anyways, there's a lot of information, a lot of cool things to check out. I thought this one was kind of cool. So a stained glass window with an image of a blue strawberry, and you can see kind of what it creates. But anyways, take a look at this. Let me know if you have any cool ideas where you could see that this could impact design or construction or facility management, anything in the AEC industry. I'd love to know your perspective or ways that you could apply this. But anyways, hopefully you learned something, or you know, this led you to be a little bit more interested in this and to see the application of, or how powerful GPT-3 is. But anyways, I'll see you in the next video, and I appreciate you watching. Thanks, guys.